Hello, my name's Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. This video is really just an excuse for me to show you pretty bits of glass. So yeah, Intaglio glass cutting, some people call it rock crystal, is not something I know deeply about, but I do have some. And you know, as a process, you know, you talk about Intaglio glass cutting on Roman rings where they would have a little impressor, you could make it with a seal. That's Intaglio. So you'd have a little glass bead and you polish the top off it and put someone's head on it and make a, you know, so you could do a wax seal with it or something. Anyway, that kind of thing. So it's been around for a couple of thousand years at least. And but the period I'm talking about is for the UK, from probably about 1880 to 1940. Now you might think 1940 is a bit late, but before we go on and see some glass, I'm going to show you a reference that I have from the 1930s for Webb Corbett, and it's full of designs for intaglio type cutting, so, or rock crystal, because I'm talking about the polished kind, not the matte kind. I will do another video on Scandinavian engraving or intaglio cutting, but it's the matte kind. But that's a different video, I think, with different glass. So what we're going to look at, we're going to one, show you that, yeah, it was made up in the 1940s. You can't just go around slapping Victorian on everything. And two, there are different qualities, because some of mine is very basic and some of it is really... So I don't have masses. I think I've got about 8 pieces to show you. So with that said, let's get on. Oh, and I've got vases, jugs and decanters and a mystery object. I know what it is and I'll tell you what it is at the end. Okay, so let's go. As I promised, this is the only reference I'm going to show you. This is Webb Corbett factory drawings from 1935, downloaded from the Corning Museum of Glass online library reference. And yeah, so this is just a plate. You can see this is the profile of the plate, and round the edge you've got this cutting here. And if I scroll back, you'll see there's a different plate with more, and they've got other shapes. They've got jugs here. Oh, that's another plate, but somewhere here. Yeah, I mean, this is all designs for intaglio cutting. See, there's glasses, wine glasses as well. So you see where I'm going. Is there more? Yeah, and there's more, and then it's back to normal. I think there's something right at the very beginning, maybe. No, that's it. So you get the idea of what I'm looking at. They've got other designs, more traditional, but they've also got, there's another nice tumbler with this fine design on it. Some more. So you can see where I'm going with this. There's masses of this kind of drawing in here, and this is what makes it hard to identify some of this intaglio glass, because if you think all factories might have had, or several of the factories would have had fine designs like this and would be producing them, and there's no book laying this out apart from this is the only proper reference I found. That you go, yeah, this is a proper reference of stuff that they were probably making. Going to start with vases. We'll start with this one here. Now, I have seen this one on the internet described as possibly Thomas Webb by William Fitch, and so I know he was working up until 1924. And this is, it's sparse, but it is nicely done. And it's got these little, it's blown into the bottom half is blown into this little mould, and you can see there's even little cuttings going with the mould. Can you see those little teardrops here? They're all cut. It's got polished pontil mark, but no maker's mark. But that would be true if it was kind of like Edwardian, late Victorian. But yeah, so that's quite a nice thing. My wife bought it at the glass fair. I'm not sure how much she paid for it. It wasn't cheap, but my wife goes for those kind of things. So this is, I would say this is Intaglio cut aligned, really, because it's somewhere between. So in the definition, Intaglio cut is shallow cutting. So this is to make an image. So this is kind of not deep, but it's not shallow as the other one. It's interesting in that it's got little moulded blobs on it, can you see? That are then cut into as well to make the flowers on here stand out. Can you see, if I hold it, can you see there? So they've cut around it to make it stand, the blob stand out a bit more, and also cut into it to make it. So this is nice. It's not as fantastic quality as that, but I did get this from a antiques centre for £8, and it's got nice little extras like this here, and on the foot. See, that's unnecessary. And it doesn't have a pontle mark though, not at all. But it does have extra nice little flourishes, and you can see my wife has been using it as a vase that we use. So that's the first couple of things that I'm going to use. This is probably the lowest quality bit I'm going to show you. So I've got 3 jugs to show you. We'll start with this one. I believe it's the newest one. This shape is a very Edwardian style thing. Yeah, I've seen it in pottery as well. Use that shape from that period at the very end of the Victorian era. Sort of like it into the. Let's see if we can get this to focus on this, so you can see. It's got these flowers, this kind of like whiplash plant, and then it's got these kind of focus. There we go. Look at that. So this is nice quality, but I wouldn't say it's the top quality for this kind of thing. It's got this at the top, and also the edge is cut, can you see? Also this cutting here on the rim, can you see it? It's matched at the base here. Fairly standard polished pontle, but the handle is a bit, it's quite nice. Look at this. Cutting running up here. So yeah, this, I think this counts as Intaglio cut. It's more shallow. Yeah. To make an image. So yeah, and that would have taken ages to do. That is the first jug. So I think this one is probably 1880s, 1890s, so I think this is a Victorian one. And this might be Thomas Webb, because this is this lotus here that you can see on a pond, because it's like it's on a pond. Yeah. The star cut on the base is fairly standard, but yeah, it's nicely done. This is matte, and then you've got cutting around the neck. That's kind of, although this is quite thin though, but that is proper glass cutting. But then this is the kind of thing you see quite often on Intaglio cut glasses, little flourishes that you don't see elsewhere. A little cutting around the edge here, and then you've got it running up the handle. And the handle is actually, just to give it a bit more look, it's an air bubble. Can you see? Running right through the handle up to here. A nice classical shape as well with the tricorn pouring lip. Alright, let's go and have a look at this. So this is top quality. I mean, if talking about the handle on the other one, look at this. This is just another level. Yeah, I can't get it to keep in focus as I move the handle, but you get the idea. And then look at this. Got a bit of moulding here, but they've cut into it around the edge to make it stand out a bit more proudly. Look at that. This is just another level. And the cutting on here. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And then the base is cut like the top of the, where you've got moulding. So this is moulded, but then they've cut into the edge of it just to make it stand out a little bit. And also even little teardrops right into the corner of it. So okie dokie, so those be the jugs that I have to show you. These are the three decanters I'm going to show you. Which one shall I start with? Let's go with this one. The stopper, because the stopper is quite nice as well. And you can see that it's actually moulded. Can you see it's got this spiral optical moulding, and then you've got these sprigs of flowers. Very nice and clean. And then, no, yeah, here we go. So you got matching sprigs of flowers and weird foliage things, and then on the shoulder you've got these flat diamonds. Look at the cutting between them. And then you've got a sort of optical moulding running up the neck that's been cut into and let out at the top. Can you see, like this? Yeah. And also some cutting at the top of the optical moulding. And again, that little extra bit. There's nothing on the handle. But you do have all of this stuff running, and it doesn't have a polished point. It's just, I mean, a star cut point. It's just polished. Yeah, I don't know who that's by. I did try to find out if it's Stevens and Williams. I was told categorically it isn't. So we'll have a look at this one now. So this one is the finest, but it's also sparsely cut. So if you look at the works, see if I can get it, you see how fine it is. Very shallow. It's got little birds that are in matte and butterflies. It's like a Japanese pattern, really, with sparseness and pine cones and pine with birds. And then let me show you the stopper. There's no, it's got a label on it, but yeah, that's a paper label. I think Janice just left that on from when she bought it, because this is my wife's, and you got the same pine cones on the stopper, really finely done. I think this one's by Webb Corbett. I haven't been able to find an exact match for this, but Webb Corbett has decanters with this similar shape and this line and lines here, but not with this. I can't find any reference with this cut pattern on. That's quite nice. It's not grapes. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm not even sure if it's hops. I think it might be hops. And then if I put it back, and under the stop underneath, you can see it has the same hops leaves running around the polished pontal. Can you see that? That's quite cool. And then I'll show you the stopper. You got the same leaf pattern running around the stopper. A little cut neck. So yeah, that's the shape is like a shape designed by Christopher Dresser. Hang on, let me I'll just yank something off the shelf just to show you what I mean. So this is in one of my reference books as a Christopher Dresser design, and you get the idea. I mean, it's a completely different scale. That's quite a big decanter. I think that's about a bottle. I think that's a bottle and a bit. But if I just put everything across a bit. So yeah, so this is based on a shape that's from probably the 1870s or 80s. But as you can see, this is a really different scale of decanter. So yeah, it's literally just next to me on the shelf, but you can't see it when you're filming because it's low. But anyway, yeah, thought I'd just yank that out and show you. So although this design pattern and everything is something that I've seen in this shape with this line and these lines like this and this shape stopper, something I've seen in a 1930s catalogue, the actual basic shape of the decanter is from much earlier. So this is the mystery object, and let me show you. I'll give you a moment to guess what it is. Have a look. So yeah, look at the cutting on this. It's not fine, but it's quite bold. I reckon this is probably something like 1930s or something like that. And you might agree with me when I tell you what it is. The cutting underneath is nice, isn't it? So it's bold, but it's fine as well. It's not, it's quite shallow. And on here as well, it's very shallow. So what is it? So guessing's over. When I first saw it, I thought, card holder? No, this holder's too big. Is it for a napkin? It seems it would be a bit tight. You'd have to almost squeeze it in, and then you'd have to pull it out tightly. So I don't think it's that either. So then someone told me it's a cigarette holder. So it'd be at your fancy dining table or whatever. Maybe the men have withdrawn to the drawing room, and they would have one of these on the table with their cigarettes on. I've seen quite fancy little boxes and things from the 30s where you have a little thing, you'd pull it and they'd all pop out like a fan and all sorts of stuff. So ways to offer your guests cigarettes other than straight out of the packet was a thing in certain households. If you felt yourself above the station of offering your fag straight out of a packet, when you were having fine dining, and you didn't want people to have to pull their own packets of fags out. So yeah, or they wouldn't have packets of fags if it was fine dining. They would have a cigarette case, a silver cigarette case, and if they were even fancy that, they would have a gilded silver cigarette case. But anyway, this is the table equivalent of that, I think. I think my parents have got a box somewhere where you open it up and the cigarettes will pop up like this. But yeah, I'll never use it because, one, I don't smoke, and two, I wouldn't let anyone smoke in my house either, even if they did. So anyway, it's a cigarette holder, very fancy for such a thing that it's not going to get used that often. It's only for probably when you have guests around. This little ball here makes me think Thomas Webb, but that doesn't mean anything really. It's just my thoughts because I've got something else that's got balls like this that are Thomas Webb with the bubble control in it is similar. So, but yeah, it doesn't. Lots of people do bubble control. It just looks different in the way people actually do it. Anyway, that's a different story. So, yeah, that's the last piece I'm going to show you. So there you have it. Now, I haven't been able to properly ID any of that glass really, to tell the truth. I can't go, yeah, it's definitely by these people. I think some of them, Webb Corbett, maybe Thomas Webb, but I'm not certain. So if any of you people out there can tell me, I know what that is, I would love to know. Because I'll put it on my website and go, it's this, and then categorize it properly, etc., etc. But anyway, so yeah, only one reference used. I'll put that in the description below. And what else? And I think that's it. So please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps my channel. And it's free, doesn't cost you anything, helps me take over the world. And yeah, so thank you for watching and have a good night. Good night.